Speak on your beef with Scrap. All right, we definitely got to talk. You know, some of these Marvel Rival guys might be a little uninformed when it comes to the Call of Duty team, LA Thieves. But we probably can talk about the LA Thieves loss yesterday versus FaZe, man. All right. Let's talk about these. First and foremost, I want to say this, dude. I'm always going to have our players back. And after owning and operating an esports team for 8 damn years, that might not sound like a long time, but in esports, it kind of is, bro. Especially since I was a player myself, even prior to those 8 years of 100 Thieves being around in the gaming industry. Listen, do I know that this minor tournament is completely irrelevant for the remainder of this year? In my opinion, yes, absolutely it is, because it's a new thing that the CDL added. It's a small tournament before the major. Tries to give the communities something bigger than just these online qualifying matches. Yes, like at the end of the day, bro, nobody's going to remember who won the minor tournaments. They might talk about it a little bit, but at the end of the day, it really comes down to the majors and COD champs, the world championship at the end of the year. I mean, that's really what everybody's got their eyes on, right? So for me, after having a 3-week break, okay, there was a 3-week break for the holidays, man. They played 2 weeks of league matches, and then we went into the holiday break, and we've had to wait 3 weeks to see all these teams play against each other again in an official tournament format. The reason why I was upset that we lost, well, one, everybody's calling us a super team. Okay, that's number one. So I expect the boys to play like a super team, right? And I'm not ignorant to think that we're going to win every single match. It's just not how Call of Duty works. That's just not how competition works, bro. Almost across every traditional sport and every esport, even the best teams can lose and will lose, man. It's just not, it's not viable to think that, or feasible to think that we're going to win everything, right? But the problem that I had with losing to FaZe, well, one is we have already beaten them twice this year. I mean, the first one was in the Quezon LAN, the first 4-team LAN they had at the beginning of the year. That was pretty irrelevant because it was truly like right as the game had released. And so it really wasn't important. And nobody really understood the game as they probably do now because it takes a couple weeks, couple months to learn. But number two, we had beaten FaZe a second time in one of these online qualifying matchups, bro. We had already beaten them twice. So even though FaZe versus Thieves, it's, you know, the second round of this minor tournament, it's basically like a top 3 match, bro. I mean, Optic, FaZe, Thieves, anytime those teams play against each other, it's going to be a bang out and it's going to be must-watch Call of Duty. And listen, I had one drink in me, brother, at dinner, and I'm watching this shit on my phone. And after I see the control and the comeback that they make, I'm thinking to myself, oh my God, they're going to do it again, bro. They're going to hit this reverse sweep and we're all going to cheer and celebrate. No, we didn't fucking do that. Point blank period, we lost 2 hard points to FaZe. All right? We lost 2 respawns to FaZe. And yesterday I watched Miami beat the living fuck out of FaZe on one of these hard points. Granted, it was, what is that map? Red card? They beat them by like 150. It was like 250 to 100. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, if Miami's, you know, drawing blood from these guys in a hard point, I'm like, well, you know, we shouldn't lose 2 hard points in a best of 5 versus these guys. I don't give a fuck if it's a minor tournament. So at the end of the day, what I'm trying to say is that I expect the best out of these boys, no matter how big or small the match actually is. And I texted him, bro, because Scrap had words for me via text, and I shut that shit down right away. I'm like, hey, listen, Ernie, I love you to death. My wife and I, we had you over to the house. I know you're a good kid. Because, you know, people like to get on Scrap's ass because of all the shit he's been talking and kind of just like his aura and his presence and his attitude. But I'm telling you, bro, that kid Thomas, a.k.a. Ernie, a.k.a. Scrappy, is like a super, super nice kid. Very cordial, uses manners, like came into the house, like asked my wife a bunch of questions about how she was doing. Honestly, he was like one of the more gentlemen that I've ever had here at 100 Thieves as a person, bro. He was just like a very normal, nice kid. That might ruin his reputation a little bit, me telling you that, but like really, I fucking love Ernie. But he's got a mouth on him, bro. And he saw my tweet. He didn't like that. So he texted me, and I shut that shit down immediately. I'm like, hey, listen, bro, I'm your fucking boy, but let's not forget you play for our team. So don't ever talk to me like that again. One. But he's like me, bro. He's a hothead. He's competitive. He's got emotions running high. And of course, as soon as he loses to FaZe and then he sees my tweet, he's probably thinking, how could this one guy who's supposed to have our back be saying that we can't get off the game and we don't care, yada, yada, yada. But here's the thing, man. I texted Shane, who's our head coach, and Shane is the fucking man, bro. I'm never going to blame that man for a loss ever because I know how much he works with those boys and Sender, the whole staff. But unfortunately, due to Paco's visa situation, because he's from France originally, apparently he had to go back in the middle of December for his meeting with the consulate or whatever. And we had to stop scrimming like a week or two before most teams stopped scrimming. And then I think we even came back from the holiday break later than all the other teams. So when I asked Shane a couple days ago, leading into this match versus FaZe, he told me that, it took us a couple days to get the rust off and get back locked in, but we're the least practiced team, but we look really good in scrims right now. And point blank period, bro, as soon as we lost to FaZe, that's the only thing I could think about. I'm like, what do you mean we're the least practiced team? I ain't paying you guys to fucking... I know for the players, dude, I told them in this text, I'm like, guys, I know it's circumstances out of your control and Paco had to get his visa and you guys had to stop practicing early, but it doesn't change the fact that, when I see us lose to FaZe after we've now beaten them twice this year, whether how early it was in the game or not, I expect you guys to beat those guys. So when I hear that we're the least practiced team and we lose a match that was somewhat important, yeah, I'm going to be upset about it. So at the end of the day, man, I told those guys, like, I'm always going to have your backs. I love that you guys play for 100 Thieves, but I'm going to be myself on socials and I'm going to say exactly the way that I feel. And you guys are going to have some thick skin, man, because if the fans in the community, especially now after this offseason, people talking about them being the super team, them talking about Thieves being the best team in the game on paper, we gotta prove that. We gotta show that. We gotta perform like that. There's just a lot of pressure on those guys. And the way that I see the team is not any different in most cases than the way that the fans see the team. So I want to win everything. At the end of the day, though, it's probably a good thing that we lost now than losing to FaZe in the first round of a major. God forbid if that were ever happen. I think so far that they've won everything that they've competed in. They've won every match that's important. And I think that could give players like an unrealistic expectation of what this year is going to be like for them. So I think it's good to get it out of their system now and kind of have a reality check that this shit is not going to be easy just because we've got 4 incredible superstar caliber players on the team. We're not going to win for free. So at the end of the day, man, I'm glad that we lost now. But yeah, man, I'm not going to shy away from showing frustration on social, even if the match wasn't that important. So I love those guys. I'm excited for this year. Get back on the grind. Start practicing as hard as we can to get ready for Major 1. That's about it, man. So GG's to FaZe. They deserved the win. They played really well. I got a lot of respect for those guys. Obviously, love Draza because he won us a world championship. He's a great kid. And they played great. They deserved to win the match. Point blank, period.